Hey everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Kings. My name is Matt, and in today's video we're going to be talking about, of course, you guys guessed it, the biggest sort of expectation that the entire world has had for tomorrow, November 1st. And you guys guessed it right, that would be Robinhood potentially listing Shiba Inu. Now, there is nothing 100% confirmed about this, but I'm going to be getting into a little bit of information in this video that has given me at least an inclination to believe this may be possible. So if you guys are new, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. Now again, unfortunately folks, a lot of this is very skeptical and very speculative. So when it comes down to it, there is no way to guarantee any of this without at least an official statement from Robinhood. But when we take a look at this statement here, this is a screenshot I found here on Twitter with a sort of news kind of announcement here saying that Robinhood could list it on the 1st of November. And there are a lot of people here who are talking about this over on Twitter. The hype is absolutely through the roof. And if I go to the latest, you guys can see between this petition and so much discussion here, obviously Halloween, all this, people are just going absolutely bonkers talking about this. And what really is striking to me is the fact that Robinhood hasn't commented on any of this. They haven't responded about this. The only thing they have done at any point in history is simply talked about the fact that they do not have it listed. That's all they've said. We currently do not have it listed, something along those lines. That's basically all that Robinhood has said ever, which is extremely weird. You would think with some kind of demand like this, they would be extremely responsive and extremely interested in what the community had to say. And the fact they've been so silent on this makes me believe that within the next 1 to 3 months, there will be some kind of stealth launch. And again, the date that people have sort of set is November 1st, but if that does not happen, I do believe it will be within the next 3 months or so. Now, when we take a look, of course, at SHIB here on the day, you guys can see we are up a little bit here, around 3%. Market cap is back to $36.8 billion, putting it neck and neck with Dogecoin. You guys can see we are literally 200 million apart, which may sound like a lot, but in the crypto world, that is extremely close. And I really don't know why there is any competition between SHIB and Doge. I love them both. I think they both have a very special spot in the crypto sphere, so I don't know why people seem to pick sides, but when it comes down to it, we are neck and neck in terms of market cap. The volume is just about the same, around $8 billion, and this is still a massive amount compared to where we were a few months ago. It's definitely not any insane volume. It's nowhere near what we saw a couple of days ago, but it is still quite good. Again, you guys can see in terms of the 7-day, we are kind of leveling off, which when it comes down to it is what we were wanting to see. Because there were a lot of people who were talking to me on my streams. If you guys have not already checked them out, definitely go ahead and check out my live streams, guys, over every night around 11 p.m. Eastern, midnight. I may miss a day here and there, but for the most part, I'm live around that time every single day, Eastern time. And if you guys have not already been there, what some people were talking about, obviously, is the fact that this price is not looking particularly hot. And the goal is, how can we sort of accurately chart this? Well, there are a few options, and I've been talking about them recently, and they haven't really changed all that much. Now, again, you guys can see we have the option to create a kind of symmetrical set of wedges here, but the issue with that is that it really doesn't fall in this wedge 100%. There really should be a little bit more towards the bottom here, and there should be a little bit more towards the top here. So we're missing a little bit of these key spaces, and when you miss spaces like this, it makes it a little bit more difficult because it is not following like clockwork. When you have a symmetrical wedge that is, really primed for a bull run, what you're trying to find in any of these circumstances is something that hits the top, the bottom, the top, the bottom, that really is accurate, and based on that, it leads to a breakout. That is what happens most of the time when you see something like this. Now, again, the issue with SHIB is that it doesn't really want to fall in any of those categories. We have the issue, of course, of the rounded top, which I've been talking about a lot here, which looks like it may have seen a bit of a reversal, which is good. The goal is not to see this repeated, because this rounded top is a problem, and I think a lot of people can agree on this, that when you go, look up rounded top, there's a lot of different signals out there that, I'm sure a lot of people, including myself, don't have memorized, but essentially when you see a rounded top like this, it's typically bad news, because when you see something like this, it's not holding. It is the new set of highs are a little lower than they should be. Ideally, you would have something like this, you'd want it to kind of grow in more of this fashion. That's not what SHIB is doing, unfortunately. So we have the rounded top here just been completed. Now the question is, with these new candles, is it going to make a rounded top again, or is it going to chart up a little bit more aggressively and give us something like this, which obviously would be a little bit better? And that is kind of the goal here. Now, our line of support has still, after all is said and done, stayed at my initial sort of target here, which is around 60. So we were dead on the money on this. So to everybody who's on the stream talking about this, 60 definitely does look as if it is the spot. You guys can see in essentially 4 different instances, it uses the 60 line as a line of support, which is pretty awesome. So as long as it doesn't go below that, I think we're okay. We're still in decent territory. Now, when you really zoom out, you could, if you wanted to, kind of try to equate a similar situation as we saw from the 8th up until the 23rd. So we have the 8th up until 23rd, and what this really was just a long kind of line of consolidation from the 8th until the 23rd. Now, if you were to be, slightly more generous, you could say that if this were to go on for 2 months, you could see a line of consolidation between, maybe 75 and, maybe 62-ish or something like that. It is possible, if this continues to fill out a little bit better, to see something like this going on for 2 months. It is very possible if you were to expand these, you could see it going on. But again, that is a little soon to tell, and you really have to do like a zoom out to really get the feel for that. In the short term, it looks a lot more erratic than that. When we look, of course, at the relative strength index, you guys can see it is giving us, kind of a decent spot here. We're kind of right around the middle, so nothing particularly volatile, not being overbought, not being oversold. So we are in a decent place with the relative strength index. And of course, not saying there's anything wrong with being overbought. It definitely helps us get this surge up, but it does kind of, sort of predict the inevitability of a crash. So we definitely do want to look out for that, so we don't see another crash from 88 down to 57 in such a short period of time again. When we check, of course, the Fibonacci retracement, you guys can see that over here on screen. What we are working with here is essentially going to be charting, obviously, the sort of top and the bottom of the most recent run. So this Fibonacci retracement here is going to take a look at the bottom, which is around 58, up until the top, which is around 69. So what this is giving us, of course, is just some potential percentage points here that could be used as potential lines of support or resistance. So it looks as if, the only real bit of data we can extrapolate from this is the 61.8% line, which is being covered. This line looks as if it may be what we're bouncing off of. So that 61.8% line could be what in the foreseeable future we bounce off of. So as long as that stays, I think we'll be doing decent. Again, we want this to really stay above 60. And it's funny because my initial, sort of guess for the line of support was at around 60. The Fibonacci retracement here is basically saying, yeah, 62 looks as if it is the line of support. So I was kind of close to what the Fibonacci retracement is saying here, which is always good. That's always nice to see. So with that being said, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more daily SHIB vids. My name is Matt. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.